Hey, this is your Made Free Life podcast with your host, Shawn, where we have weekly conversations about faith, freedom, and adventure. So we're back. It's episode 3, season 1 of the brand new podcast, the Made Free Life. And we're here with a different set. We're actually on the river here, the Intercoastal here in Brevard County, doing a little work. And I got my good friend Jason Smith with me. Jason actually works with me, and I've been wanting to get this guy on the podcast for a while. And I thought he'd be a good fit for the topic that we've been talking about, and navigating through seasons and what different seasons look like in our lives, and then really purpose, finding purpose. I think it's one of the things we all struggle with. And I think that, as men, we want to feel that, that we're here for a reason, man, that we have purpose. So when I say purpose, what does it really come to mind for you, Jason?
Purpose for me would be being a good father,
Right.
friend.
Yeah. You are that.
Try to be.
You're a great dad, and for a young dude, man, you really have impressed me with that, and a friend, man. You've been a friend to me since we met. A little background about me and Jason. My son was murdered 2 years ago, and Jason and my son were actually best friends. And so we had met previously a couple years before, I think. You did a little job for me, you and Shane, and then we kind of connected at the funeral. And I kind of talked you into quitting your job and going to work for me, and that was 2 years ago, and we've been at it ever since, haven't we?
Yeah, been doing a little everything.
Yeah.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, we've been traveling and having fun. We're down here now and just got done surfing. First time in the water. What was that like? Did you feel you had purpose out there?
I knew that when I got out there, my purpose was to get back on shore.
Back in safe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surfing's not really for me.
Do you think you're going to sell your boards that you just bought?
Both boards are definitely going to be on Facebook Marketplace.
No, dude.
For anybody that wants
You got to give it a second try, man,
I've roofed for the last 10 years, and I never felt my body go through something like that.
So you're going to sleep good tonight?
I'm just glad I'm here to sleep tonight after being out there.
So talking about seasons too, man, what kind of season do you think you're in right now? Like, a lot of us are going through seasons of transition. We're coming out of, just like we're going into fall soon, coming out of summer. What kind of season do you think that you're in? What season would you say is happening right now? We're in hurricane season. You just got a little bit of storm damage at the house.
We are definitely in roofing season.
Roofing season, yeah.
For sure.
So it's been good, right? It's been a blessing.
Good, paying the bills.
But what kind of season do you think that you really are in right now, as far as just individually, like a season of like whatever? I mean, a transition to one thing to another. I mean, what would you say like the season looks like for you right now?
Season definitely looks good.
Yeah.
Trying to multitask, do different things.
So you feel like it's a busy season?
It's a busy season.
You're trying to wear a bunch of hats. You got a crew down south working as we're working here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so do a lot of work here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
Working quite a few guys.
Yeah. So it's a season where you're trying to multitask, trying to hold on.
Yeah, trying to be a good business owner.
Yeah.
Partner.
Definitely.
Trying to have my guys happy. Yeah, trying to have a life at home.
Yeah.
Raise my kids right when I'm around.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Is that a hard thing? I mean, I know I have a hard time balancing that. I mean, if we were to be vulnerable today and be like, hey man, where do you think that, for me, Shawn, that you could do better? I would say, I struggle with the balance of being a dad and trying to be there and be present, right?
Yeah.
But also being a provider. I mean, because God's called us to provide. As men, we take pride in providing for our families. But also, we've seen this, and we've probably both been in seasons where we're so focused on providing, we're not really present. And so, like, for me, it's important that I find the balance of making sure that, my kids aren't wanting for anything and I'm taking care of them the way they should be, but also, making sure that I'm with them. I mean, being present, because you can make a lot of money and you can provide a lot of things and you can blow it and miss it by not being present and making games and stuff like that.
Kids,
it's challenging.
The only thing they ever remember is who's there and who's not there. They don't realize that you're out working, trying to provide, trying to give them a good life.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good.
So I think the best thing with kids is try to give them as much time as possible. I mean, that's the most important. More than money.
I think I would agree with that. You know, I'm 25 years older than you, so you know, I've been on the earth a little longer, and you know, remembering being at your age and my age now, I've learned a few things, and one of the things that I've definitely learned is that you just nailed that. You know, you can't buy their affection, you can't buy their love. The only thing they're really going to remember is either my dad was always gone, and yeah, he tried, but he was just always gone. He missed it, you know, when I needed him the most, he wasn't there, or you know, or my dad made sure that we were a priority, and you know, that he was there at games, and he was there, you know, in holidays and things like that. And I think for us as men, and men that want to grow and be better men and do better in that area, we're always trying to make shifts and adjustment to where we can fulfill that, you know, where we can be present dads.
Yeah, what I've noticed more is the families that don't have much are the happiest families.
That's good.
You know?
And how was your childhood with your dad? Did you have a present dad?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
And would you say that affected you?
I like to say it don't affect me, but obviously it does here and there. You know, you don't realize how much something like that affects you. I think for me, I hold it together good. I feel like now that I'm a man, I got my own family, it's my #1 priority, so I try not to focus on you know, the negative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up with no dad.
Yeah.
So I had my grandpa, you know, he raised me. So therefore, I mean, I did have a dad.
Yeah.
It was just my grandpa was my dad.
Yeah, no doubt. Same thing. My real dad, you know, he never showed up for me. And so I never met him. And he died when I was like 8 years old. But my mom remarried, and that dude raised me. And he was somebody that definitely had a lot of great values. He worked hard. He provided for us, and he tried, you know, his very best to be engaged and involved in the things that we were involved in. But I think knowing my story and coming from my background, I think something in me rose up at an early age as a young father that, like, I did not want to duplicate what was done to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And so for me, man, I wanted to make sure I was present and available to my kids, and I haven't done that perfectly, and I've missed it, man, a lot. But especially as I get older, the older Shawn, you know, the half a century old Shawn definitely is trying to live each day with that mindset of, man, I want to be present and I want to be available. Like this week, just to be completely transparent, I'm missing Micah's game on Thursday. It's a second game, and it bothers me. It bothers me that I haven't been there for the first 2 games, and I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna be there, I promise. He's like, I know, Dad. You know, he's shrugging it off, but to him it's important, man, that I show up and I'm there, even if he don't play, that I'm in the stands and I'm supporting him, and he can look out and see me there. And I think that's what I'm saying, you know, with this whole thing about finding purpose is like one of the main things I think men, you know, that have kids is like our #1 purpose, man, is to make sure that we're present and available for our kids, man. We're there. They know they can count on us. They know that we're the one dude in their life that, you know, is going to be there. And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to do as we grow into this thing. And nobody has a map to it. You know, being a parent, it's one of those things, man. You kind of wing it as you go, and you get around some people that's been doing it right. Hopefully, you know, you learn some things along the way, and I definitely have. But I think the goal is that we want to be better fathers, man. I always say I want to be better than I was yesterday, today, and that's in everything. A better friend, a better father.
I think the main thing is with our type of work and what we do, we're gone all the time, traveling so much, so we don't really have the opportunity to stay in town, go to all of them, you know. My daughter's in cheerleading, I'm missing her practices.
Yeah.
So
So you just try to make that up when you get in.
Yeah, make it up when you get in, and then sometimes, you know, weekends get busy, but I mean, when you're trying to be successful, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just finding that balance, man. You know, I think it really is. But you do a good job at like trying to guard that time when you get home, you know, for a young dude. I noticed that. You've made some shifts where you're like, hey man, I'm gonna spend this time with my family, I'm not gonna be running around, I'm not gonna be doing anything. If it's a day or 2 days, you're really good about guarding that and making sure that, you know, you don't let things come in and invade that and steal that, because you do know what it's like to be gone a lot during the week and things. And so I think those things are important.
Yeah, I've been traveling ever since I was 16, 17, so nonstop. But nowadays I get to work my schedule. Yeah. Get to go home when I want usually, you know, whether it be during the weekday, a weekend. But I get more time on my hands now. Back then, when my daughter was first born, I was gone 7 days a week. I was never really around.
Well, I think that's what I saw when I met you, and you know, it was a scary thing for me to ask you to quit your job and follow me. I was like, dude, you can make more money and you'll be home more than you ever were. And when I was saying that to you by faith, I believed it, but it was like, dude, you're asking this guy to do a big thing. But and I remember talking you through that. Like, you were like, you know, like a couple times I was like, Jason, you're just gonna have to trust the process, and you were like, I know, but you know, it was a scary thing, man. Like like it would be for anybody. But you did it. You stepped out. And you haven't looked back, man. And you've been home more than you ever was traveling with commercial.
For sure.
And now you got your own gig. You got guys working while you're doing other things.
Yeah, I think that's what takes most of my time now. You know, is working 2 different places at once.
Yeah.
So,
but it's still way better.
It's definitely way better.
It's giving you more freedom. Yeah. Definitely, I would say, and definitely more money. Financially, you've definitely stepped that up, and we're all trying to do that. Hell, we're all trying to make more money on this thing, this journey. Yeah. So.
But I seen a lot of people lose their family over work. Yeah. The time too, being out of town. You know, so it's like you got to figure out what's more important sometimes. Yeah. You know,
and it takes a special kind of woman. I know Kaylee, man. Shout out to her. She's been amazing. Like, as far as that goes, like most girls, y'all's age, you're very young. To have, you know, a girl that young and like she don't trip, dude. She's not blowing you up and asking you every little detail of your day. Like, she knows you're working, and you guys got that mutual trust thing going, and that's really cool. And I think that's what makes it work. You got to have a life partner that's really kind of on board with this, and they're built for this.
Yeah,
I think she's definitely built.
I think the goal is to try to live a certain lifestyle before the kids get old enough, you know, find their forever home. Yeah. Where we're going to live the rest of our life and stuff. So trying to get it young.
Trying to grind it out.
Trying to grind it.
Yeah, man.
Get all these rough days behind us.
Yeah, definitely. So. And there's definitely going to be those days, and we still have those days coming. But the thing is, man, we're getting wiser, and we're making, you know, different decisions as we move forward, and with the goal in mind of to be, you know, like we said, the best dad that we can be present, be available for them. And I think it's just managing that, you know, like when we're out in Airbnbs and stuff, setting outside time to FaceTime. Like, I try to FaceTime the kids and let them see me and talk to them in the mornings as they're going to school, things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's just one of those things that we never bat 1,000. We're always going to blow it and miss it at times, but I think the desire for us to continue to grow better and more as fathers, and to be what we desired to have, like you said, man, you know, what we wanted growing up, and you know, I think that's the end game, man, for us, is to do that. So
sure.
Yeah, man. So what other things you think that in this season of your life, man, what about some challenges, man, like other than, you know, traveling and being gone from home, like what have been some challenges this season for you, you know, that you've been in, that's just been struggles, you know, things that, you know, that's been hard, you know, to navigate through, relationally, maybe some other relationships?
Yeah, being the rock for everybody is probably the hardest thing. Yeah. I'm the go-to for everybody. Yeah. You know, everybody gets a problem, I'm the guy to go to. Yeah. Everybody needs help, I'm the guy to go to.
I feel like pulling at you. I know that feeling, man. People.
But my heart's so big, I believe it. You know, it's for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
It all comes back.
It does.
You know.
It does. But there's a balance to that too, man, because you can get to where you're just wore the hell out. You know what I mean? People will, like I wrote the other day, I think I shared that with you. I said, takers always recognize givers. And it's true, man. People that are generous, people that are giving of their time, their resources, their gifts, people recognize that, man. And a lot of people, man, it's not even, I don't know if it's subconsciously or, they're trying to do it, but essentially, man, it seems like there are people out there that just drain the shit out of you. And you just feel fatigued from people.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
it's a daily thing.
Yeah, I think Jesus, modeled it best. He got away from the crowds a lot of times, and he went up on the mountain to pray, and he got away from all the hustle and the bustle. And I think, how do you find time to do that? Like where you would just like decompress? What's some things that you do to kind of decompress, to kind of shut down the hustle and bustle? And when you have all the phone calls and you have the people that need help with a light bill, or they need help fixing their car. I know you got a big family, and like you said, you're kind of the patriarch of the family. People kind of look to you even as a young man. Like, what do you do? What does Jason do to kind of decompress and find time to like just get still?
Well, I mean, to keep it all together myself, have time alone to express all that,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what I used to do.
Yeah.
I used to go ride my four-wheeler and stuff. But guess
Tell
what?
us a little bit about the four-wheeler, man. What happened with the four-wheeler, dude?
The four-wheeler lived a short-term life.
It was a short-term life, dude. You were so stoked on that thing.
Yeah.
And now it's in the graveyard.
Yeah, it's in the graveyard.
Thanks to Idalia?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Idalia.
Yeah,
she
took
came
her
through
on
hard.
out. Yeah, she didn't want you to have no fun with the four-wheeler. But so one of the things you do is jump on that and just take a ride?
Oh, yeah. But what I noticed the most of the time is when I'm headed home, I'll pass that driveway. I'll keep driving a few miles.
Yeah, man.
Listen to music. Then I catch myself.
Before you come home.
Yeah, then I catch myself on the other side of town. Sometimes I catch myself in a different county. And then I realize, pull it all together. It's time to get home.
Yeah.
Time to get home.
Man, I think that's awesome, dude. I think that's healthy. It's a very healthy thing sometimes.
Yeah, the goal is not to bring all the frustration home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to do. You get a phone call through the day while you're working, you're angry or this or that, or you're just having a bad day. Yeah. So it sounds like you're angry on the phone,
Yeah.
But people don't realize you're on the roof.
Yeah.
You're dying out here. It's hot.
Definitely. Frustration.
This ain't the time to talk. And then sometimes you take them frustrations home. The little things, could upset you, make you mad, a little angry.
Yeah. No, that's good, man.
So,
and I think
learn to not make a big deal out of small things.
Yeah, I think, man, one of the things I used to have to do is like put my dad hat on and my husband hat on when I was married, and take off my work hat. It's kind of like one of those things I had to kind of process and look. I had to literally like walk my mind through it and like get into that mode. And like you said, like I would just pull in the driveway sometimes and sit and just sometimes pray. I know we share the same faith, that we both, we believe that there is something greater than us. His name's Jesus, and he helps us. And I love what you say. Jesus talks to me all the time.
Yeah, Jesus talks to me.
Yeah, and so he talks to me too. And sometimes he used to tell me, don't go in there like that, man. Don't go in there or one of the things I tried to stop doing was like coming in the door with my phone.
Yeah.
Because the kids haven't seen me all day.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I would go in there with my phone and be in a conversation, and I've been gone for 8 to 10, 12 hours sometimes. And the first thing, it just like takes the wind out of them because they're just so excited to see you, and you're like, on the phone finishing up a conversation. So I would try to end all that. So one of the things I would do is I would decompress and take off the business, the business guy, the business owner, whatever hat, and I would put on the dad cap, the husband cap, and try to end my conversations in the truck, so that when I walked in, I was fully aware and present that they were, excited to see me, and so those were one of the things that I really enjoyed about, growing in that area, was just making sure that, that I was aware that they hadn't seen me all day, and
it's their time now.
It's their time. Yeah, man, for sure. So, man,
it's the small things in life that you take for granted. You never know when it could be your last.
Yeah.
My family's been full of, trauma. So
sure.
I try not to take a minute for granted.
Yeah,
so
that's good, man. I think we can wrap it up right there as we close, man. Is one of the things that Shane has taught me is that I never take things for granted anymore. This right here, I'll never take this moment with us together here, out here working on this beautiful.
It took you a lot. You know, I'm camera shy. I'm socially awkward.
It took a lot to get you on here. I mean, you fought me on this for the last 2 weeks.
I've been dodging it for weeks.
Yeah. And this is something that I'll never take for granted. That I got my good friend, and
I'm not a person that expresses feelings. I keep to myself.
You're not going to be on camera much.
It's not happening.
I drug you out here and got you on my podcast, and it's been awesome, man. And I just want to thank you for being brave and having the courage to get on here and share some of the things that are hard to share. As men, we don't like to be vulnerable, but I believe vulnerability is a superpower. It's not a weakness.
Yeah, you taught me that.
Yeah, and I think the more that as men show that we are vulnerable and can be vulnerable, it makes other men feel like it's safe to be vulnerable too. And then I think what ends up happening essentially is we're all growing through our bullshit, and we're getting better. And that's the goal, man, is to get better. So, man, thanks for coming on today.
Sir.
I love you, dude. And we're going to catch some waves tomorrow, and hopefully
he's gonna catch some waves.
And you're gonna work, and I'll be surfing, and you're working. I'd
rather go to work than surf again.
Yeah, man. All right, you appreciate it, sir.